This is an All Ears English podcast, episode 868, How to Take Advantage of Your Weekend and Connect in English.
Welcome to the All Ears English podcast. Downloaded more than 50 million times, we believe in connection, not perfection, with your American hosts, Lindsay McMahon, the English adventurer, and Michelle Kaplan, the New York radio girl, coming to you from Boston and New York City, USA. And to get your transcripts delivered by email every week, go to allearsenglish.com/subscribe. Today, let's learn about the phrase take advantage of. Is it negative? Is it positive? It depends on the context. Learn more today. Hey, Michelle, how you feeling?
Hey, Lindsay, I'm good. How are you?
Well, I am just waking up. We've been recording for a couple of episodes, but I feel like I've just woken up here. So it's 9 a.m. and we are rolling. Here we go. So, Michelle, I have a question for you.
What?
Well, do you feel like you usually take full advantage of your weekends?
I think I do because my husband is quite a not a person who wants to sit around. So I might be more inclined to sit around sometimes, but he is like, let's go. We gotta do everything we can. And so it's kind of good that I have him for that reason and many other reasons. But yeah.
That's really good. That's really good. I've been feeling that way lately too. The people in my life really get me up and going. I also I like to be active, but I don't need to do a million things in a day, but there's certain people in my life that really keep me moving. And it's like one thing to the next, which is good because you get to the end of the weekend and you say, yeah, I really took advantage of the weekend, right?
Right. Exactly. That's true.
Yeah. So as this episode is being published, I'm taking advantage of the holiday week between Christmas and New Year's by going to San Francisco. So
fun. That's awesome.
It's going to be pretty fun. Yeah. I mean, I've been there before, but I'm going to maximize those few days and hopefully go to Napa Valley, Redwoods, and all that good stuff. So
that's
cool.
Great.
Have you ever been to San Francisco?
I have. I was there when I was, maybe like 10. And, I was hoping to go again this past summer, but I really didn't have enough time, unfortunately. But I really want to go again. I know it's beautiful there.
It is really beautiful. I was there last summer on my road trip. I actually met up with one of our listeners who was living in San Francisco at the time. But yeah, San Francisco is a hub for good food, arts, culture, all kinds of good stuff. So I can't wait.
Isn't that where when we had the Boston Adventure, isn't that where she was living?
I think she was from the Berkeley area. Yeah, so close to San Francisco,
Berkeley.
San Francisco area. Yeah, exactly. Another one of our students in the Urban English Adventure and our listener. So shout out to I. Awesome.
Hi, we miss you.
We miss you. All right, very cool. So maybe our listeners, guys, could you hear in that conversation, what were we talking about? Michelle, what were we talking about there?
Well, we were talking about, ways to take advantage of time, opportunity, and more.
Exactly. So today we're going to zoom in on that phrase, right? To take advantage of, and we're going to talk about how to use it, other ways to say it. And, we're going to zoom in right there. And this comes out of an awesome question from a very cool listener from Sao Paulo, Brazil.
All right. Should I read it?
That would be awesome, Michelle. Thank you.
You're welcome. Here we go. Hi, Lindsay, Michelle, and Jessica. My name is Fabiano, and I am from Sao Paulo, Brazil. I go twice a year to Boston, to spend my vacation, and use some of my time off to study and improve my English. Last July, I was in Boston and found All Ears English when looking for an English podcast to follow. It was love at first sight, or ear. Oh my gosh. I love this guy. No one makes learning English more natural than you girls. Oh, I love it. And I also love I love that we can see this listener's personality through the email, just like good humor and, so that's cool. So cool. No one makes learning English more natural than you girls. I have a question and hope you can help me with it. Here it goes. When I want to say that I want to take the best out of a situation, I can use the expression take advantage of. For example, I want to take advantage of my time off to read. There would be another expression that I could, would there be another expression that I could use that has the same meaning? And more, what can I do to not sound negative when using take advantage of? Thanks a lot. Love this question.
Great question. Thanks to the listener. And guys, again, remember, if you have a question, especially a very specific question like this, go and write it into us. Don't be shy, right? Lindsay at allearsenglish.com. Let us know. I love when we get questions from students.
Yeah,
from
it's
listeners.
Awesome.
I love it.
Awesome.
It's one of my favorite things about this podcast is taking your questions directly, guys, and putting them on the show. Okay.
For sure.
So it is a good question. So to take advantage of, what's the definition of this?
Okay. So to take advantage of, so this could be a negative or a positive meaning depending on what you're talking about, right, Lindsay?
Yeah, exactly. And, there's some contexts in English where, we don't use this phrase though. So this is where we get into the territory of be careful not to translate, right? Because I remember when I was learning Spanish, of course, this student is from Brazil, so he's speaking Portuguese, but just for our Spanish listeners, I remember we said in Spanish, aprovechamos, which means let's enjoy our food. But I guess literally translated, it's translated into let's take advantage. But in English, we never say that before we eat. That would be really weird.
Right.
So my point is that we get into danger zones when we translate things directly. So that phrase to take advantage of doesn't apply before we eat food necessarily as a saying. So yeah, that's just my little tidbit there.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, but really, what does take advantage of actually mean?
I mean, I think it's basically to use something and to appreciate it used, but it could also be in a negative way, to use something in a good way or to use something in a bad way.
Exactly. So it's like to get as much as you can out of something would be another way to say that.
Exactly.
Maximize something. So we're going to give you guys some alternative phrases and we're going to go into depth on what the tones are of each one. Okay.
Right. And to use, it's, that may have been a little bit of a too broad definition. So, but I like what you said, Lindsay.
Yeah, exactly. Guys, did you know that you can have the transcripts for every episode delivered to your email inbox every Monday? Plus, when you do this, you can save 50% on the price. Hundreds of listeners are already doing this, so why aren't you? Go to allearsenglish.com/subscribe and build a good habit for the new year by listening, then reviewing the transcripts. One more time, allearsenglish.com/subscribe. So what's the first alternative way of saying this to take advantage of would be what?
To get the most out of it.
Yeah, I like this one.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
Hey, we are, you've signed up for a week of tennis camp. You got to get the most out of it. So you get up early, you practice your strokes in the morning, right? Practice your forehand, practice your backhand. I don't know why I just thought about tennis camp.
Well, why not? Right?
I went to scary memories from when I was 13. I actually kind of hated tennis camp.
Oh, God.
Anyways, okay. Now let's go to the core phrase to take advantage of. When does it sound positive?
When it's, talking about maximizing time or opportunity.
Yeah. When does it sound negative? That's something that our listener was worried about.
So to take advantage of someone, is usually negative, right? So for example, taking advantage of someone who is vulnerable or something like that, right, Lindsay?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I saw this movie over the weekend called Shelter. It's kind of like an independent film, but it's about this homeless woman in New York, and it made me so sad. Oh, so exactly. So taking advantage of people who are vulnerable, right?
Right, yeah. Right.
Mm-hmm. So it's not so to answer our listener's question, it's not always negative. It's not always positive. It just depends on the context.
Yeah. And vulnerable. And yeah, it makes me think of also this kind of goes with vulnerable, but like taking advantage of someone's niceness. So like, oh, she's like, oh yeah, she can, she always offers to drive me places. So I'm going to ask her, like, I'm sure she would never say no if I asked her to drive me to the airport at 3 a.m. Right?
Yeah. She doesn't stand up for herself, right?
Right.
Exactly. Dangerous. Yeah, totally. Very important to stand up for yourself. Absolutely. Yes. And then we can add a little phrase there. We can say, take full advantage. And that's just a fun way of dressing up that phrase and just emphasizing the extent of taking advantage of something. Okay.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
Okay. So there's another phrase we can use that means the same thing. What is it?
That is to maximize a situation.
Yeah. And then we can also say to make the most of it. And before we said to get the most out of it, we're going to contrast these two. How is this one a little bit different? Make the most of it.
Okay, so make the most of it is slightly different because it's usually when you don't have much.
Yeah, that's the way I think of it. Do you agree with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, so like, what would be an example of this?
Like, if we're like on our vacation and we only have 2 days left and we're kind of disappointed and we say, oh, well, let's make the most of it. Like, or just, maybe if something was like a little disappointing or something like that. And you say, oh, well, unfortunately, we didn't get tickets to the show, but we're still here, so let's make the most of it.
Exactly. Or, you went on vacation and you forgot something. You left something important at home, right? And another phrase that would fit with this scenario is to make the best of it.
Right.
Very similar. I think they pretty much mean the same thing. Make the most of it, make the best of it. It's when something is suboptimal and you want to try to maximize what you do have.
Right. I like that.
And then I love the famous phrase about lemons and lemonade. I think it kind of fits in here.
Right. When life hands you lemons, make lemonade. That one?
Yeah. It's kind of a famous quote you guys will hear in the English language. Maybe you guys have a translation for that in your language. I don't know. Kind of cool, though.
Yeah. That's very well known.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, what's in my throat? Yeah. Sorry.
You got a frog in the throat there?
Yeah, I think so.
So what's the takeaway today, Michelle?
Okay, so the takeaway is let's take advantage of our lives.
Yeah.
Right? So because it's easy to kind of go on autopilot and let the days pass by, let our lives just, go by and, just kind of do what we have to do and not think about it, right?
My gosh.
Lindsay, you wanted to talk about about a book?
Oh, no. So I was, I spent the Thanksgiving holiday at my parents' house and I was leaving and I glanced around their garage and I saw they have that book, the famous book, 100 Places to See Before You Die. Everyone's got that book in their house, I feel like, but it was dusty and I was like, oh, let's dust this off and take this back to Cambridge. So I have this on my bedside table now. And my point is like, I don't know. I just want to, in 2018, I want to really take advantage of the year and travel more and just like, eat it up. Just take life, take everything out of life. And that's exactly what this phrase means, guys. So just remember this conversation when you think about this phrase and how to use it.
Right. For sure. I like that. Yeah. Make the most out of it, like we said.
Yeah. And like one tangible way to do that would be like, for example, on Sunday nights, like what do you do if you work a 9-to-5 job? You probably work on Mondays. So what do you do on Sunday nights? Do you, as we call it, like, do you like die into the week? Meaning, do you think about work? Do you do your laundry? It's fine if you want to do your laundry to feel prepared, but are you mentally already at work? And is that painful for you? If that's a problem, then maybe instead set up a movie night with your friends on Sunday nights, like a tradition. So you have something else that you're looking forward to instead of just thinking about work. I think a lot of people get stuck in the Sunday night dread.
Yeah. I like that idea. I think it's good to have something, to focus your mind on something positive if you're not happy about Monday.
Exactly. So that would be an example of how to take advantage of your weekend. So set up new habits for the new year. Let's do it, guys. Let's do it. Awesome. So go over and get the transcripts. That would be a really good habit. You'll save 50%. Saving is good. You'll also get them by email every Monday while you're subscribed. So go to allearsenglish.com/subscribe.
Awesome. I love it.
Okay, very cool, Michelle. Talk to you soon.
Okay, bye, Lindsay. Take advantage of your day.
You too.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Thanks so much for listening to All Ears English. And if you need a 7 or higher on your IELTS exam to achieve your life vision, then our Insider Method can get you there. Start with our free video series masterclass. Get video 1 now at allearsenglish.com/INSIDER. And if you believe in connection, not perfection, then subscribe to our show on your phone or on your computer. See you next time.